Hello. So, welcome to episode 54 of the Swimrun Show podcast with Ben Thiesmeyer, all the way in Switzerland. How are you, Ben?
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hello, listeners. Really glad to be back on the show.
Yeah, good to have you back. It's been a while. You've had a good season by the looks of it. An interesting season, actually, with the project with your brother. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Oh, yeah, that was a project with German television. So that we had a request they wanted to make a documentary on public television, NDR, as part of the ARD ZDF group. So it's a bit like BBC, really, in England.
Okay.
And I wanted they liked the race, and they wanted to make a nice documentary about it. They've done a previous documentary about Northman, and I wanted to be something similar. And the idea was that I do it with a celebrity or a former Olympian. But we had a couple of interviews, and then we had even people saying I would want to do it. And when we went into detail what they actually have to do, then got cold feet and pulled out. And then we were still like somewhere late March, and we didn't have anyone to do it with. But as well, Italy was very keen to have this documentary out. So I just mentioned it casually to my brother, who used to be a triathlete probably 15 years ago, and then really stopped when, I don't know, life took over, like after uni. And somehow he rung me back, or sent me WhatsApp 5 minutes later and said, "Do you think it could do it?" And then, yes, I thought, yeah, maybe if we bump up the training a little bit. And then, we pitched the idea to the telly producers, and they said, yeah, that's even better story than doing it with someone who's already been fit before. And then we were kind of part of the story, but it's shown the race, it's shown as well another team, a female team, but that's kind of the side story of it, and shows a little bit how we were then trying. So for me as a coach, it was an interesting project. Is it really possible to coach someone in, I think it was 4 months we had to do a successful race, and not winning it, but finishing it.
You did well. The world champs, where were you now?
I think it was 16's line 10. Yeah, but it got really got really tough for my brother in the second half. So
yeah.
So I think it is possible, but it's a very painful experience. But maybe we could have took it a bit slower. So we were quite motivated because it was kind of fast how to redevelop his speed in the run, and in the swim I could pull him a little bit. So we had a test race, which was his first swim run in Gothenburg. And we said before, well, we take it easy, but then kind of when adrenaline took over, we raced with the front pack, and then came second. So that really motivated us to train even more, maybe race the world championship. But then in the second half, it became obvious that might be not the smartest thing to do. But he did really well, and I think it was a really cool thing for us as brothers to have this project. And really, I think we haven't spent as much time together for the last 20 years, so it was really cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. So did it fall apart in Orno or after Orno?
Yes, typically the classic start of Orno was really hard. So I think it's such a hard part of the race when you're so cold and then you suddenly go. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's partly mentally that you think, oh, now I have to do this long run and I'm already completely knackered.
Yeah. Well, great time. 9 hours, 10 minutes. Not too bad. Not too shabby. So that must have been a great project. So in terms of the coaching, so 4 months of coaching, more or less, with yourself, a specialist swimrun coach, which helps. I'm guessing you led the swims?
Yes. I had to lead all the swims. And kind of pull a little bit in the run in the second half. In the first run, we didn't pull in the run. So
Okay. So that's probably quite an unusual dynamic for you. I know he's your brother as well, but your coach, racing with your coach in a sense. Who?
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
it was the same kind of, because the years before mostly raced with Delia in mixed category, who as well was my coachee. So it was kind of a similar setting. And
yeah, how is Delia? Yeah. How is Delia?
Yeah, Delia, well, maybe for your listeners, Delia, my Swimrun partner and friend, had a very tragic accident in the start of the year, in the end of March, where she got hit by a car, and she's paralyzed since. And she lost her leg function and stomach and back muscle function, so she has only her arms left. But luckily, she survived, and she's really grateful to still be there.
Yeah,
but it's a very tragic situation in the start. But she is so strong. It's really inspiring to see how she's dealing with the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is.
And I think for me, I mean, I knew before, probably because I raced with her and I coached her, I know that she is probably the toughest person I know. But now I think it's so obvious how she deals with a situation like this mentally, and did from the start. Like, she was in intensive care for 2 weeks, and she was not able to communicate because her lungs collapsed, and she was on a breathing machine. And the first thing I got from her was a picture of a Paralympic athlete from Switzerland, who's won the Paralympics in marathon wheelchair racing, and a smiley face saying "new goals."
Brilliant.
We go to Brisbane 2032.
Brilliant.
So I think that's very unusual. Someone, especially dealing with this, and really live in the concept of there's no point in worrying about things you can't change. Mm-hmm. So, and just focus on the factors you can influence. And that's always how we raised as well. And I think Swimrun is a great example of how you can learn that for life, that you just focus on, what can you do right now to make your situation better, and not, why I am in this situation, whose fault is it? So I think she's such a great role model for that kind of philosophy, and it's very impressive to see. Obviously, it's sad, and she's sad, and everyone around her who's close to her, and even the wider sporting community, because she's such a talented athlete and a wonderful runner, and her success in swimming was very, very sudden, and that would be so much possible for her in the future in that sport. But now, she has to go other ways now, and she will.
Yeah, I did see a post on Instagram of her in a wheelchair. Looks like she did a race not long ago. So that's great. She got new goals. So I'll follow that.
She did. She did her first mountain bike race in that was gravel race, actually.
Right. Okay.
And with a hand bike.
A hand bike. Okay. Cool.
She crashed 15 minutes into the race. So,
right.
So it's very tricky because on a hand bike you sit in very low, so you don't really see the bumps in the road, like going there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a friend who was on the mountain bike behind her, telling her when the curves and the bumps come in. So it's
Okay, it's a lot to learn then. Lots to learn.
yes, and learning everything new is like
Yeah. Cool. Well, good thoughts to Delia, and we'll see what happens in 2032 in Australia. And so, in terms of the training with Jonathan, your brother, did you mostly do run training and transition training, or how was that?
We did a couple of Swimrun specific sessions here in Lake Zurich, but he lives in Bonn in Germany, where there's not by a big lake, and he's very busy as his own company for graphic designs, and he has 2 little kids, so it's we were a bit time constrained. And he, as things go, when you don't run much and then you try to prepare for 75k or 70k race, it's really difficult to bump up the volume. And yes, he had some injury problems before as well, and we needed to be really careful with like long sessions and intensity. So how we got around it? Well, first we focused on swimming to regain his swimming abilities and made him swim quite a lot. My experience, that's not such a big problem with overuse injuries, and we're building up a good fitness level. And then maybe what was special is with the runs, because we couldn't go, or we were a bit hesitant to go in with long sessions. So we did a lot of small sessions. So things like running in the morning to the office, then running to the pool, having a good long session with intervals in the swim, and then running back.
Brilliant.
So that's how we got to decent overall volume. And then he was visiting me where we were practicing a few swimrun specifics and the team dynamics, and probably in two sessions. Yeah.
Okay.
2 days, mimicking what's coming then in Gothenburg and the World Champs.
Okay. So that's quite relevant, I'd say, to quite a few people starting out in the sport over here in the UK. They've done a few triathlons in the past. They've had a couple of kids, possibly working away, and you want to start a new sport. Yeah, building it into your day, running to work is a classic way to help training work for you, I suppose. What kind of hours was he doing? Like volume per week? Do you have those numbers just for people to get an idea?
We probably started with something like 8 hours and then worked him up to 15 hours, probably in peak week.
Okay, that's running only. Running.
No,
swimming as well. Okay.
Swimming and rather running together, and we scheduled 2 strength sessions as well. Just
okay.
Yeah,
that's
which
good.
I found very useful as well to keep overuse injuries under control and improving running economy. And
Cool.
things like core stability to do a race like Oettinger.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you kit him up?
Ute, I think we swam in, and then carbon pedals, and a key plus. The biggest one, the Mega.
The Mega.
On the Mega here.
Good.
Yeah, yes. We needed so equipment wise, I think that's pretty much state of the art.
It is, yeah. So he went from zero paddles, in March time to probably fairly big carbons quite quickly. Did he make that transition?
Yeah, large. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A large. Yes, that was possible, especially where he was not leading the swims.
Yeah,
that's possible. We realized then he can't solo, that maybe in a solo race the medium would have been more smarter. But I think if you have the large pedals and you're swimming in someone's slipstream, Yes, it's probably good, especially if the run's a bit overpaced, to really like relax. So the strategy, I think the common strategy as well in mixed team racing, that the weaker swimmer, even if he managed to swim well in the slipstream, can relax a little bit in the swims as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's good for folks to hear. You can get to those bigger paddles relatively quickly. But with the caveat,
yes, I think that's my experience in general with other athletes as well. That I always, when I talk about it to swimmers, where I work for a swimming club as well, and they won't believe it because they always think, oh yeah, paddles them really give you shoulder pain. But my experience is that it's not such a big issue if you build with a short build up to go to bigger paddle size. If you got decent flexibility, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's different probably for people like just genetically how flexible they are in their shoulders.
It's more the back muscles as well, isn't it? It's probably misuse of the paddles that causes the injury. And because of the cadence difference, it might be people. I mean, I don't actually know anyone who's got injured using paddles, but I'm sure there are people. It's probably a cadence problem, not realizing how slow you've got to do the stroke and using your back.
Maybe, and then I think what I teach my athletes is as well to adapt the recovery phase a little bit.
Okay.
Where like if you have these swimmers who swim like kind of there's a tendency as well, like in classic swimming, especially sprinting, that you're a bit more relaxed in your recovery phase, so the phase where your arm is in the air, to be a bit more open, especially in open water swimming today. You see that, and when I learned swimming, we were all about the high elbow coming, and we had these drills with the pulling the fingertips over the water surface, and it looks really cool in some hypermobile 15-year-old female swimmers. But for many late onset swimmers, which are normally a bit stiffer, maybe a bit older, if you do that then with a large carbon pedal, I think that could hurt your shoulder. But I think it's not important. So my advice would be to be a bit more open, maybe even try things like a straight arm recovery, which you see quite often as well in Olympic sprinting nowadays. But that works really well. And I had to adapt. I swim rocket blades, prefer rocket blades. And I think with them, they kind of teach you as well to do that with the rocket blades, because there's no way to pull the pedal forward, because it's just too big to have this closed recovery phase. And it's not sorry.
Okay, cool. So that's good to hear, I think, for people, because I'm always cautious about paddles, but thinking about it and talking with you there, it kind of dawned on me that it's probably more the misuse and rather than the size so much, because in reality, I've never felt. Anyway, I won't say any more about paddles.
I don't know. Maybe it's an interesting topic. You can maybe you can shorten that a little bit, but maybe a few more thoughts about paddles. As well. You think that one thing is the recovery, but as well you could think, when you think about shoulder pain, or maybe some of your listeners having issues with shoulder pain. I don't not say it's not possible. There, the rocket blades I find an interesting thing, because if the shoulder pain is coming from the deltoid muscle, with the rocket blade, the deltoid muscle, so it's like kind of the top one of the shoulder. In a conventional paddle, you would use that muscle a little bit more than in a rocket blade, where you can engage your lats, latissimus dorsi, so the long muscle which goes down your back. And this is the main effect why I use the rocket blades for swimrun racing, because you have it's a bigger muscle, so it doesn't fatigue as easy, and as well I find it's a bit easier to distribute the load. And since I use them, I find it a bit the timing in shorter distance not so much. So I would recommend to test them in a pool in all out sprints. So I think there the difference is different from individual to individual. For me, it's not much in them, but I feel in the longer distance that the benefit of the rocket pedal becomes more obvious.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, that's covered paddles.
Paddle topics.
Pool boy, just stick it between your legs. Happy days. What did? Oh, okay. What? I mean, there is a bit of pool boy management, of course, and size, and etc. Any interesting insights from you on pool boys?
I think the latest is there's the even bigger ones, like the mega. I think it's you want to have as much flotation aid as you want, really. I just sometimes feel in races with a lot of transitions, I personally prefer to swim the just a plus. I think it's the second biggest on the market.
I'd agree,
because I find it a bit easier to handle and to put away and to go under trees or over whatever. And I've found that when people swim in my draft, some people, then my legs are wider apart. So if they swim really close in the draft, then it might be too wide with the mega, but it depends on the person. But the mega is, I think, I swim faster. I did some video recordings in a Flume channel, like how do you call it in English?
We call them endless pool.
And so where you can video yourself. So we did some testing with that. So I was testing the mega against the plus, and we could see when I swim that my pelvis drops a little bit more with the plus. So it was the second biggest.
Oh, your pulse drops.
My pelvis. So my pelvis.
Oh, your pelvis.
Drops, so the hip drops a little bit.
Okay.
Probably the pulse then as well. We were not going so much into details. It was more like a visual thing. We said you could now measure your lactate and see how that affects it over like a longer distance, but not just from pure physics. That would be less efficient. And then probably for races with longer swims now in this year, Cannes, where you have like long swims, I think I would, or you go for the mega.
Yeah. Okay. All about size, but good point about if there's lots of transitions, because it is slightly easier to manage a slightly smaller pool boy. If it's low, like Gothenburg, as you say, but not a massive difference.
But for example, we had like last year's World Championship, we had Delia, who was like 50 kilo, swimming with a ARC Mega.
Delia with an ARC Mega, wow! Because, she must have been hovering on the water.
Yes, it's like
out the water.
But it was definitely faster.
Yeah, cool.
Some people always say, "Oh, I'm not so heavy," but it's not only for like 90 kilo plus swimrunners.
Yeah. And do you bother with? I mean, I know in the UK, there's a few guys that like to go with a bit of flotation on the calves. So I've seen some things down shorts. All sorts of flotation bits and bobs, calf guards, etc. Do you bother with any of that stuff?
Is that a UK thing? I don't know.
I don't know if it's a UK thing, but it does get mentioned.
I've seen some swimrunners. I don't know. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
I would just think for me, it wouldn't be for me, because for me it would be too hot in the run.
Okay.
I think maybe it's something for if you're taking it a bit easier in a longer race, it might help. But if you want to race and go all out, I think for me it would be too hot having I don't know, maybe a really cool race, but in the races we have so far, I think I don't know, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's
Yeah.
cool. I don't know. I have to.
Yeah, it's all experiments. It's I find I actually use a calf guard sometimes, neoprene one, because I got sent them ages ago from Head, and I didn't use them ever. But I had a calf strain a couple of years ago, and it helps with compression. So I sometimes just wear one on my right, in Coniston actually, because it was potentially the water was going to be quite cold. I did wear calf guards on both legs, but it wasn't. It was all right. It wasn't too cold at all. But yeah, from the compression side, I'm kind of paranoid now about my right calf, and it has helped. In fact, it got me through the World Champs in 23 when I had a calf strain. So that was a good thing.
So you use it similar to compression sock.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't wear the sock. I'm not really a sock fan, but I know some people like the protection as well on the shins. So yeah, it's kind of personal choice, that one for sure.
I think so.
And on the feet, what are you rocking on the feet this year in the World Champs?
I used the Salomon Pulsar Elite, or Salomon Pulsar Pro. It's called.
Right.
It's good trail running shoe with a plate in it, but not a carbon plate, some other material. So I like it from the style I was running. I mean, for me in the World Champs this year, it was not about having the fastest shoe. I would probably, but yeah, I was wearing it in Engadine, and it was really good in Engadine where we raced, like where I was racing on my running limit. It really helped that.
Cool. Yeah, because it's getting more platey, isn't it? Carbon platey at the front of the pack for some races.
Definitely. Yeah, and especially races like Cannes, Engadine. I would say like this year Cannes I raced in like a road shoe, like a carbon plated road shoe, and I think Jérôme Mondano, who won World Champs, they were racing in Meta Speed, Essex Meta Speed, and they said that was good and no problem. And in Cannes you saw like probably all top teams racing in road shoes, and I kind of question maybe Engadine next year to race in a road shoe as well.
From my memory of Engadine it's not technical at all. Like the way I remember it,
you could race. Yeah, you could. Yeah, well, it's some technical bits, but it's hiking.
There's nothing slippy.
Well,
it's not slippy or anything, is it?
Yeah, so it's technical, but it depends probably on the conditions when it's wet.
True.
It might be slightly different.
And that's a good point, because the World Champs was incredibly dry this year on the rocks. So in 2024, you might not get away with Meta Speeds because it was a pretty wet.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure probably the top guys probably could, but yeah, it's another classic. One of the reasons we love Swimrun, the whole nature of dynamic nature of the races and the conditions. So but I might have to get some carbons for the mid pack.
Take it a bit easy. It's something to take into account. But as well, I would recommend not running everything in carbon shoes, like training wise, and have a slow build up. I see a lot of people with Achilles tendon problems who switch to carbon shoes, which makes sense because you kind of blocking a lot of foot muscles and little joints you have in your foot, and then that means more load for the Achilles tendon and the calves. Maybe with your calf strain, that will show a little bit of flare up when you transition to the carbon shoes.
Okay.
So take it easy. I would recommend to have a few sessions in them and then see how you feel, and then slowly build up to race distance. Okay. And as well, there is some evidence out that the gains they get less when you always run in running shoes and in carbon plated shoes. So I think it's still good to rotate with minimalistic shoe wear and super shoes.
Okay. Good advice. Okay, so on that note, as we're kind of talking about carbon, should we look at the elite program? Because the Erteleur Elites program's kind of been launched. I think there's a few more details to come, but you know more than most, I think, Ben, because you're involved, weren't you, with the the athlete group. What do you know about that, Ben?
So the idea is to get good races, good races on the start line in all World Series races, and make it maybe a bit spectator friendly as well, to have like a ranking, and as well help with covering the costs of like professional, so semi-professional swimrun season, so making a step towards professional racing, if you want to call it like this.
Yeah.
So it would work that you qualify. And this year, I think the people qualified is people who podiumed in World Series races in Europe or won American races, and then they kind of get like a license for the season, and then they pay a fee, and then they can do all the races like included in that.
Yeah.
And I think the plan is to have like live coverage and focus a little bit more on that. And as well, I think there will be certain races where you have to say in advance where you're racing. So it's a bit more predictable what the field's going to be like at the start of the season.
Okay. Interesting. And is that the only thing I wasn't sure? Is that in the European? So it's slightly different, isn't it? European races, it's top three in Uto, Engadin, Gothenburg, Ireland, world champs, Rugen or Kahn. Is that top three teams?
Yes. For the initial qualification, it will be, I think, solos taken into account as well.
Okay.
So, but the elite program has a focus on team racing. Maybe that's another aspect, as far as I understood, is promoting team swimrun. So
that's good.
Collect points in the swimrun races, in the like World Series races. That is just about team, team results. So there will be end of season ranking, where you then you have individual points, but you can only collect them within a team result.
Okay.
So if you win a race, you get 15. If you win the team category, each category, man, mixed or female, you get 15 points. But if I race with different partners, I collect maybe more points than one of my partner. So you don't have to go with the same teammate for the whole season. That's what I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I know. You've got to have that top level in sport to kind of bring the bottom up, really, bring everyone, forward, and get more sponsorship types, commercial stuff going on, which is needed, and you've got to have that competition at the top, I think.
Yeah, and I think swimrun is a great sport to have, like a very dynamic race. If you got a group with similar abilities, which can change position, and that for this is good to have a best kind of combined in one series, and not having one doing that race and the other one doing that race. That's what we see in like races like the World Championships, where competition is steep, or this year Engadin or Cannes. And then there's some races where you just have the classic, there's one really good team and they lead in from start to the finish. Yeah, that's not so exciting to watch. And there's not so much strategy involved. But if you have, a big pool of people who can maybe challenge the other team in swimming, and the other team can challenge them in running, there's different cards to play in a swimrun race. And I think for me, that's a fascinating factor about swimrun as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And then the big news, we don't actually know what the news is, but the World Triathlon Federation apparently have voted in, don't know how it came about, but voted in Swimrun and High Rocks multi-sports. So that's interesting. We don't know really what the outcome will be. It'll probably take a while to get anything, what it actually means on the ground. But any thoughts on that, Ben?
I'm not sure. Mixed feelings. I think first it's good. I mean that there's a wider public speaking about swimrun to make it more popular. Maybe some people will get to know swimrun through that if it's somewhere on some kind of website of some triathlon federation, or there will be races supported. So this is definitely a cool thing that they noticed us and they have interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I worked with several sport federations. For me, they're normally not the most innovative institutions. I don't know, but maybe that's prejudice. I'm not sure what's the situation with the World Triathlon Federation right now. I don't know. I think swimrun and triathlon are very different things somehow, but they have some similarities. I mean, I have a triathlon background myself. Don't know whether I would came into swimrun if I wouldn't have done triathlon before, but I don't know. But the concept is very different. But in triathlon itself, it's the same. I mean, the original Ironman format is very different to the Olympic triathlon, which is governed by the International Triathlon Federation. So,
yeah,
I'm not sure. I just don't know. Is it this? If they have different sports, why is it still called triathlon? World Triathlon? It's not called ITU anymore, right? It's always called ITU.
Apparently it's called World Triathlon Federation. Yeah, it should really be called World Multisport Federation. If we're going to be true. Yeah. There's not much to say really. I mean, I suppose you can only read the language. Amongst the most significant points of order of the meeting in Wollongong, were the votes to approve the two disciplines. So, calling it a discipline rather than a sport, I suppose. Fitness racing and swimrun. Fitness racing, unusual term, under the World Triathlon umbrella. Fitness racing is the multi-sport competition format developed and pioneered by an international fitness brand, Hyrox, and swimrun adheres to the format of Swedish-originated Ödülü, translating as island-to-island racing. So it's good that they've recognised the origin for sure there. I know there's been a lot of comments on Hyrox about things like will there be doping testing and some other things. I think there's various comments on I've talked to a few people this week about it in Europe. So as long as they listen to what swimrun is and take it on board, what people have told me, there's some concerns and there's some positives. So it's not much.
Yeah, I see it like in France, or I think Germany took it on last year as well, even before the World Triathlon Federation did. They have some kind of championships, but I kind of not the original format. I think the French have a good championship now, but it's more like a triathlon format where they've, it's more about which distance is how long, and do it on a leg and then do several loops and stuff like this, which I think is very different from what we do when we're doing like a style race. So, but yes, it helped if you see the results of French swimmers. That's definitely getting more performance orientated through that, and people who do well in these races, they do well in this year's Ödülü races as well. So it's the same people winning the French championship, who've been on the podiums in the World Championships.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did look into the French model this week actually, and I was surprised that the French. So the French Triathlon Federation have kind of got swimrun under its umbrella, and they've got a race series, 4 races and a final race. And I just thought, I wonder how it is going. And I looked at the results, and I was very surprised at the low numbers attending the races compared to the other races in France, which have hundreds, and it's like 800, 900, 1,000, and some are even more than that. So it made me think, hang on, maybe we're always talking about how the federation in France have encouraged swimrun. How much is it correlated, or was it becoming big in France anyway the federation thought, oh, I like the look of that pie. I want a piece of that pie in our federation. I don't know, but it did make me wonder. So
Yes.
what I think has worked though with that, it's brought younger people. I think it's brought younger people in to the
Okay.
sport. I haven't got evidence, but that's my feeling. In the UK, we're trying. Yeah, we're as a few organisers, we've come together to try and help each other. We're not a governing body, but we're a group of people, and there's a few organisers, there's a few people that take part in Swimrun, and we're just trying to grow it because it did die a bit in COVID, and struggling to come back. So as a collaborative, it's quite simple. We've got better insurance option for organisers, which is important. And there's a British ranking. Some people are into that kind of thing. A lot. So,
Yeah, I think your model is quite interesting when you have like this as like being probably both have advantages being part of a big governing body or making practical use of cooperation, like you said, it race organizers. Maybe you're developing. Maybe do you host a like is the ranking is it like then called like British Championship or something like that?
well, not
Do you have
at the
your own
moment.
champion?
It's I think 95% of the races in the UK you can gain points at,
Mhm.
and they just go onto a table. So
Cool.
it's not. It's the races aren't kind of a championship. We don't have that format yet,
Mhm.
but we do have points.
Mhm.
So so that's that.
Yeah.
I think in the future I can see there being a race series and a championship potentially.
Yeah.
That's how it is at the moment,
I
anyway.
I think as well it won't be a massive change with having the World Triathlon involved, and you see that from other sports. I think there's stuff like winter triathlon is part of the federation for like probably 20 years now, and it after it became part of it, it didn't boom. Or it's like aquathlon is part of it. It's not a massive thing as well. So duathlon, I don't know. It's not present as well. So I don't think that these federations will be the key players of driving the sport forward. I would say they're bureaucratic. They work very slow. Normally, I think I would then say it's more like like yourself as a race organizer who runs differently and wants to do the sport and runs more like a private company is probably more ambitious to drive it forward. Or good example for me as well, like the way the Utilo brand is managed, like a modern startup with people who worked in very high profile jobs in the sport industry before. I think I would put more trust in them
Yeah,
to drive it forward than some kind of person who's the president of a national federation.
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
Well, yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't think so.
but
Well, they've
we will see.
Otalo have driven it forward, haven't they? So yeah, no, totally. It is interesting because I followed governing bodies for a while, and who was it now? Obstacle course racing were trying to vote in adventure racing under their umbrella,
Mm.
and there was a big kickoff from the athletes and organisers, and that kind of got put to bed. So it's interesting how these voting in under my umbrella situations happen.
Yeah. Uh,
um,
yeah, I
yeah,
think it might be something how these federations want to reinvent themselves, and I think there's a trend as well in other sports where you like as well when you look at national championships now. Don't know how it's in the UK. I saw that in several countries that they host them in the same city and then gain more visitors or use the common publicity to have like track and field and maybe maybe triathlon championship in the same hosting city. So a bit like a small Olympic game. I think that could help, especially for niche sports. Maybe that's kind of part of the trend, and then these federations could group as they'll probably want to grow as well, and if they're growing by more members, then might have to take other sports in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In swimming, there's, I think, similar tendency now with having, you have the World Aquatics and not the World Swimming Federation, and they have very different sports under one umbrella as well. Like,
that's true.
Like water polo and normal swimming.
Synchronized swimming.
Probably similar.
Yeah. That's probably a good model to follow, maybe. They could have. I mean, High Rocks is. I mean, I was surprised to see that. I don't know if the bosses of High Rocks. I assume the bosses of High Rocks know about this. I'm sure they do. That's obviously a very successful commercial company, and I suppose the attractive model for World Triathlon is that you can do that in a city, quite nicely in a venue. There's no swim, so that's not going to be cancelled. It's all indoors. So we'll see what happens. But they need to.
But it's almost like, I mean, your own event, Swimrun in Liverpool. I mean, that's pretty close. I mean, you brought Swimrun into a city that could be like a form of how I picture like the official ITU World Triathlon version of triathlon, probably, because you could host it in the same on the same weekend as a triathlon, and then they do these combined championships, and then have the swimrun, triathlon, duathlon all on one day. And maybe as well it's attractive for race organizers who want to have different kind of races on the same day, because it's you can make more money on one day and with one permission. So makes. I was talking to a race organizer here as well who would like to do that, like organize a run and then have a swim run on top, because you people are already there. Then the people see, okay, cool, what these people doing, that looks more fun than just running. And I think it all helps putting it out there. Does. But it will probably not the same as doing it to learn, but maybe these people then will develop into proper swim runners, as I would call it, and discover their love, and then it's a good thing. So it's all better than having the people hanging around at home on their phones and computers and Netflix abonnements. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a good stepping stone, isn't it, into the swim run world? And I find that with the Eliminator in Liverpool, it's people they turn up to the start line. Oh, no pool boy. Okay, fine. Fine. It's the first time. But they learn, so by the end of it, they go, okay, I've got it now. Yeah, I need a pool boy because of this, paddles, that, bang, bang, bang. And in a few months' time, I see them on the start list at Erteleur, So you've got to have that progression for people who aren't like you've done some Ironman, you've done some trail races, myself, the same kind of, not Ironman, but I've done a lot of adventure sports. And swim run wasn't a big step for me. It was kind of, you do swim, run, that's not a problem. So it's just a progression. So we'll see. What have you got lined up for next year then, Ben?
Yes, pretty much same as this year. I would like to race the Engadine, definitely the big focus, as probably the race where I think suits me the best. And I want to race it with Daniel again, who
Daniel Rowland,
yes, who is originally from Zimbabwe, but lives in Switzerland now as well. So we work together and we race together. So it's it's good. Cool. We both like mountain running, so that will be a race we focus on. And then probably don't going to do Åland again, because it's just perfect. It's just the coolest race ever.
I like the look of that. Yeah, that's the one. I want to do that next year.
We raced it this year, and it's just it's so cool. I definitely want to race that again. It's like maybe the most beautiful swimmer course. The start is just so cool, and not the start. Everything is cool about it, but it's similar to Erteleur. but it hasn't got such a long run. They have a long run, but it's not. It's a bit shorter. So for me, it's better. It's more transitions, more swimming, and the landscape is just amazing. And the whole setup is nice with like the experience on the next day. So I raced the next day with my daughter, and my son was racing with my wife. So there was other families as well from doing the World Series race before, racing with their kids the next day. So that was really cool to
brilliant
to race again on the next day. That's the first one as well, and it's really cool to get the kids involved. And so mine there said that was the best thing about the holiday this summer.
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
It's definitely a good thing to go to Ireland. So I hope many of your listeners will come as well to Ireland. So, as well.
Yeah, it's on my list.
And then
for sure.
World Champs, of course.
World Champs, yeah.
And Cannes will be. I forgot to mention
20th anniversary.
About the Elite Series. Cannes will be in the Elite system is double points in Cannes. So because the final race, so you kind of if you do that kind of road,
and that's when that's when the prize money when the prize money gets settled.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
But for me, it's a difficult one because it's so much flat running on roads, and as nowadays some of the guys, they're such fast runners, like good runner, proper marathon runners, run like 2:25 marathons and stuff like that. So it's really difficult for someone who has more like a trail running background and profits from really technical terrain or even hilly terrain like us. It's a tricky one, but there's a lot of swimming, so we better get the swimmanship a little bit better.
Yeah,
for next year.
Yeah, he could do with a big swim at the end of that race just to give you more of a chance, because it's the bigger swims at the start, aren't they? Yeah.
Start and the end, really. I think I really like the dynamics of Cannes. The hills could be a bit longer. So I like it.
Cool.
But it's good. It's a bit of everything. So it's,
it is.
It's a fun race. And it's nice to be there at that time of the year.
Yeah, cool.
You come in?
Okay.
What's your agenda?
I would like to do Ireland. I'd like to do the World Champs. Got to qualify. Got to get me points in. And I'd like to do all of them, obviously, but I'm not going to be able to do that. But realistically, if I could do two, that'd be cool. UK wise, I'd like to do St. Austell end of May. It's going to be a struggle, really. I probably won't do 3 or 4 races next year. It's probably going to be the max. But you never know. We'll see how things go. Because there's so many. Côte d'Azur I'd like to do. Yeah, so quite a few would like to. It's trying to get with the family option. I mean, Ireland, I could race with Dominic. He'll be 5 years old then, so I could do possibly do the experience with him. I've got him a little Swimrun wetsuit, so he's ready to go.
Yes, I think like I had my daughter. She's not such a confident swimmer. I was wearing a belt, and she was literally holding on with the hand to the belt and just do a bit of kicking. If you use a big pull board, that's possible. 5 years. 5 years, perfect. So he's not so heavy yet.
No, it's heavy enough actually.
But so much fun. I think Swimrun for kids. I think that's so cool. I think. Yeah. I mean, Swimrun is the best sport. I mean, I don't have to tell you, but I think for kids, there's so much in it than just swimming lanes in a pool or running around the track. To combine sport with this exploration, adventure type, it's totally different. Teaching them how to swim in open sea and run over slippery rocks. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, definitely. It won't be long till he's faster than me anyway. So I need to get going. So yeah, cool. So Ben, well, thanks for coming on, and well done on a great season. I think we covered quite a lot of ground, and look out for if you need some coaching, endurance coaching over in Switzerland.
Experience coaching, exactly. So we do coaching, but we do as well, like if you have any injuries, we just do injury consultation as well with me and another very qualified sports physio, who know what they're talking about and know the other side as well. So it's sometimes a shortcut as well for people from other countries than to go through the medical system with your running injury or your shoulder injury from swimming. The wrong pedals with the wrong technique. So yeah. Thank you for having me again, Mike, and all the best for the British winter.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grey out there. Yeah. All right, Ben. Thanks a lot.
Take care.